We've got breaking news out of Major League Baseball where Carlos Rodón has agreed to a 2-year, $44 million deal with the San Francisco Giants. That's been confirmed by our Jim Bowden. The deal includes a player option for a second season. The All-Star lefty spent the first 7 years of his career with the Chicago White Sox. He posted a career-best 2.37 ERA this past season, finished 5th in AL Cy Young voting. And for more on this, let's bring in the host of the Nothing Personal podcast with David Samson, our David Samson. David, this is going to be a regular occurrence as we get into free agency here. Players signing with new teams. What do you make of this deal for the Giants and for Rodón?
Well, you have to remember the Giants lost Gausman, right? So they needed to fill a spot in the rotation. If you combine him with Descalfani, who they brought back, the newcomer Alex Cobb, they still have Alex Wood. Remember Logan Webb, it seems like 10 years ago, but what a postseason performance he had. And this really helped shore up their rotation. Rodón is a good 2, maybe a 3, and it starts addressing one of the needs that the Giants had, trying to make last year not the exception, but the rule. So Larry Baer, the president of the Giants, actually forecasted this move. Yesterday after the lockout, he said they are primed to be out there in the market. They've got needs and they're going to be aggressive. This is aggressive, and what it shows the players is that teams are still willing to give opt-outs. What an opt-out means is that after 1 year, if Rodón thinks he can get more than $22 million in next year's free agency, he'll be a free agent again. So this could be a one and done depending on his performance.
I mean, and the Giants were not that bad last year. I mean, they finished first in the NL West. I mean, they went out to the Dodgers in the NLDS. So, I mean, in terms of how they're looking with the pitching rotation, bringing Rodón in, I mean, second in ERA, I think, last year in the majors overall. So, I mean, this rotation was not in a bad way to begin with. How does it look now with the addition of Rodón?
Well, it certainly shores it up, but again, it's probably a tie because they lost Gausman, who had such a great year. What we have to think about with the Giants is they had about 6 or 7 players who had career years, and that was the way they were able to not just stay with the Dodgers, but actually end up better than the Dodgers by 1 game. I want to say 107 to 106, if memory serves, from all those years back. So having that sort of depth in the rotation is going to matter as you go through another season. Remember, Buster Posey retired. So for the Giants to actually be a contender, whereas last year at this time we were talking about the Giants not making the playoffs, not winning 81 games, they're going to need a second season in a row of career years, replace Posey, hope that Rodón stays healthy and replaces Kevin Gausman, and then maybe you've got a race with the Dodgers.
That was my next question for you, David. In terms of the depth of this rotation, are you confident that it's there for them to kind of do it again?
I don't see any aces in this rotation. Logan Webb is going to be the closest you get, but he hasn't done it enough for a long period of time to be considered an actual ace. And in my view, having an ace matters greatly. However, the way starting pitching works now in Major League Baseball, you've got so many guys who are 5 and dive. If you can get 5 innings from them, you're going to be in good shape. And then you have to worry about injuries, which is why spring training and it being shorter this year and pitchers ramping up even faster than they normally would because of the lockout, teams with the most depth, and I'm not talking about 5 starters, I'm talking about 12 starters. That's going to be the number you need to get through a season. This signing certainly does help the Giants.
David, we've got a full screen graphic of the free agent pitchers out there in terms of what the market looks like at this point. I mean, with Rodón taken off the market, I mean, what do you think we could be seeing in terms of dominoes to fall here?
Well, I think Kershaw and Greinke are 1-year deal guys, and I think Kershaw goes back to the Dodgers. I don't think he gets multiple years. And you just have to understand when you are signing a free agent pitcher, the longer you go out, the riskier it is. So what you're seeing teams do now through their analytics departments, they are actually signing pitchers to higher average annual values, but shorter term contracts. That seems to be the way it's going, and I think that will continue with every name on this list.
Our MLB insider, former executive David Samson, joining us. Carlos Rodón signing a 2-year deal with the San Francisco Giants. David, great to see you. We'll be seeing you on a regular basis. Now that
looking forward.
Now that baseball's back, and David's going to be talking about it on his podcast, this deal, and of course the others that are going to come, free agency. I mean, 24 hours ago we were talking about it finally being done. Now here we are. Free agency is here. It's coming thick and fast. And David's going to be talking about it on his podcast, Nothing Personal with David Samson. Download and follow wherever you get your podcast audio. You can also watch the program on YouTube.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.